Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a windy welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. It's not that windy right now, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be fairly soon. I mean, it's gone back and forth. For the past week, I've heard nothing but, the sounds of wind whacking the glass on the windows in my room, day and night. And that is because we have been subjected to a storm. Apparently, Friday had the strongest winds since 1987. Or at least over here, anyways, 1987. Obviously not the world. That would be a pretty far stretch, wouldn't it? But yeah, it was interesting. Because yeah, Friday was a particularly intense day, actually. It once again was one of those intense weeks. I think I clarified that a little bit last week as well, in last Walking Wednesday. That once again I was worried about quite a few things, budget list, etc. Well, the budget list for Siren Story, the musical, has been completed. I think I may have left out a couple of items, but even if I did, I'll probably be able to get those myself, honestly. I don't know. It seems like the Shakespeare director actually is still ordering a bunch of things, so yeah, I think I'm in a relatively okay spot. Also, apparently I have a tech meeting this Friday, actually, because Planet was scheduling weekly tech meetings to go over tech stuff, even though usually for plays you have one tech rehearsal, maybe two if stuff goes horrifically wrong, which, to be fair, some things did last time for a few groups. So maybe they're trying to overcompensate now or something by having everyone think about all these things well in advance. I don't really know. So maybe I require a text script this time. I'm not entirely sure. Then again, there's still parts of Act 1 that I've got to finalize, namely the last song, because I went through yesterday and the day before. I've been cutting out all parts of Cora from the mention of that piece. Cora was the good siren, supposed to be the contrast between all the other ones, and was one who's supposed to join their side and show how the siren nature is somewhat inescapable, but also can be controlled in certain ways. I thought that was an interesting angle to go from, but yeah, not quite. Then again, I guess Cora's character could have actually become the main lead of a different production. But oh well, she's still in the Gacha version, obviously. All the characters I removed from the Gacha version are still there. Just I'm gonna have to rejiggle a few things around to try and see the best way to combine the storylines, because the musical has, of course, been subjected to a bunch of other edits. But then again, most of the edits were done by me rather than insisted upon by any tutors. I still don't think I've got a reply from the writing tutor. Then again, I haven't checked my email in a few days, so maybe there's still a couple of things to catch up on there. Maybe he's finally replied and said something as to why it is that he wanted to rethink my entire script when I was, when he didn't see any of it. I don't really know. Also, he and the other tutor, the one in charge of the festival, keep saying they want to come round and see some of the rehearsals that we've done, but don't really seem to be showing up to them. So who knows? I do slightly worry, because even though Cora's gone, we still need Italia, and everyone we try to actually get involved ends up saying possibly, or then never contacting us again, or saying no. And I'm not the only person who's tried. People are actually, credit to the remaining cast members, they're trying to find somebody else as well. Just hasn't worked out. Either, what Hasbro does the budget list. Most of the edits came about from the script from when we actually removed Cora entirely, and we actually then just trimmed down the outline of everything. by removing chorus storylines, we actually made a much more concentric story, and it now feels less like it was based on a series, and more like it can actually be somewhat self-contained, which would have an interesting effect if we follow that same structure for the series itself and just put the plot points back in. I think that could actually be something quite interesting to do, because having a musical structured like a musical, probably by the time it gets to the inevitable movie edit, would actually be beneficial. Speaking of that, I've been working on some Fallen Angel stuff as well, because Aiden wants to do a remake of, I've already mentioned this before, just in case, Aiden wants to do a remake of episodes 2 and 3 for his, before he does the movie edit of season 1. Which I guess is fine, but then again, it does mean that everyone's hands are on deck now, and I've been trying to get the Mutant Girl scenes fully prepared, or at least the audio of them, which I also did. So I think I've had a pretty successful week so far, apart from rehearsals, because again, people have either had to cancel, or I've cancelled something with one person there and stuff like that. I know I've had one-person rehearsals with one of the cast already, the actor playing Rex, but that's mostly because all the other actors were supposed to be there but never actually did show up for several reasons. It's supposed to be reading week next week, which is, but some of them thought it was last week because the national half term basically was last week, so some of them kind of just disappeared. Well, one of them did. Another one was sick, as well as another one. So yeah, it was once again just a few of us for the budget list. Although that guy who disappeared did actually come back for that. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. But although the storm most certainly was. I had one guy, the one who was playing Argus, say to me, I'm glad I was, I shouldn't say this, but I'm glad I was sick that day, because we were in the rehearsal room from, as we normally would be, going through the spreadsheet, then suddenly someone comes up and says, oh, we're locking up. And I said, why? Because of the storm. So, yeah, by this point we knew about all the winds and stuff. We didn't realize it was going to be as intense as it was. So, we were fighting against the little forces of nature to try and get to the actor playing Rex's apartment. And we got there, but it was kind of like walking through treacle sometimes, rather than air. And treacle that pushes back, for that matter. So yeah, not entirely the most successful experience, but not unsuccessful either. We got it through on time, and it turns out the budget is actually much is simpler than we thought. Again, maybe it's because of the more laid-back nature, not laid-back, more compressed nature. I don't know what to say. The more trimmed down nature of the piece, that it might actually be, we're doing way better with that. Again, it really does feel like this can be done theatrically. I'm not as concerned as the tutors are. And then again, the tutors saw a synopsis that was written when the MA students were still involved. And they were supposed to be playing some of the sirens as extras, not to mention also Talia at the time, no, Cora at the time, and then Talia left as well. So yeah, that was a heavy blow that day, but it would have worked out. That story would have worked out if we actually kept everyone. Alas, we were not able to do so. So yeah, now there's less people to manage and better ideas for possible direction and everything, I think. So again, very confident about that. I'm also confident about the Mutant Goat remake because naturally, while I was sending, while I was trying to compile the last bits of lines people had missed out, because lots of the VAs, for some reason, missed out about either one crucial line, or well, I mean, it's real, so all lines are crucial. Either they missed out one line or several, multiple times. And now the wind starts up again. It's not as bad as it was before. But look at my something bad. Oh dear. Okay. I think I need to get that. Yeah, my bag just kind of rushed off. Where did it go? What? Oh wow, it's all the way over there. Look. That bag fell out of this bag here, which I've been carrying to go do shopping after this. Because my visor didn't fall out, so I've been carrying that too. So yeah, as I was saying, yeah, I've been trying to get people's lines. I end up scaring one of them. I won't mention who. Because my confrontation of her was admittedly on the harsher side. Then again, we do tend to have harsh confrontations with each other all the time, so I wasn't expecting it to be as scary. But I do admit my faults. I'm not going to pretend like it didn't happen, because that's not fair. But yeah. So once again, public apology for what happened to that particular actress in question. Anyway, I need to make sure that's secure. I'll just, there you go. Fold the bag and hold it by like this. Okay, take two of that. Yeah. Sometimes it was the case. Sometimes I had to actually bring down the proper axe, particularly on the person who invented the term of the axe. That was another particularly interesting example, but it does go to show that I make no exceptions to people. That same actress wanted to actually quit recently due to conflict of interest, but I showed there was no interest being conflicted. I was still very much resilient to actually get all those parts submitted. Again, you know who you are. Different person this time, not one I scared. So yeah, all of that was sorted now. I mean, I had to get one backup actor to do one line of one character. But you know what? Considering who I got to do that, I'm not concerned. But yeah. I think I'll be in a good spot for that. But so yeah, all the audio is finished, and not only that, but while I was finishing up all the audio, getting people's lines, Aiden, aka the Lightning McQueen of editing, submitted both of the scenes that he was supposed to do, and is now offering to take up several more, which I would normally offer him, but that kind of a little bit unfair. Besides, I need to take charge of one of the scenes actually, otherwise I'll be doing anything in my own remake. But I've got ideas for that too. I know which section I'm going to occupy myself on. It's really interesting actually. Again, I think back to when I originally wrote and edited all of the parts here, and when I was still doing in-person directing for both those episodes, because they're recorded at the same time. And yeah, it was interesting because around that same time I expressed my discontent in a video about what happened. I told people I'm not happy with the way that you've done this, and I did a bit of an April Fool's prank to say that I was going to get rid of them because of it. Not really. I think everyone knows by now that the Mutant Girl voice is a blunt contract, but back then that wasn't common knowledge. Because again, it was like the second episode. But yeah, that was an April Fool's thing I did. But yeah, I feel like it's interesting now because I had so many problems with the people back then. Arguably some today with some of the voice actors for different reasons. But actually, for the most part, people now are just so eager and professional to do things. Like if I ask for a redirection of a certain line a certain way, they'll do it. Gone are the days when Nasib will repeat a line the exact same way she just read it several times, despite me telling her to pause or to vary out the pronunciation or to build the suspense or anything. Gone are the days of, you know, robotic microphones and me having to fill in for lots of the characters or some people that weren't actually there on that day. And now we have the days where there are people jumping to help edit, and they give, like, say, there's a very in the future deadline for it. I'm going to check up on their progress just to make sure this has been worked on rather than being left at the last minute. But yeah, the editors, they're the ones who are always eager to do more things. I see them say stuff like, "Oh, I'm bored, give me something to do." I mean, even outside Mutant Girl, that happens as well. I've been splitting up some of the next Alpha Witch Academy actually to do for people. Which, yeah, Alpha Witch Academy. That's not a thing people are willing to help on. And yeah, to the point where I'm pretty sure it's going to be an even more improved experience later on. So, but yeah, Mutant Girl first and foremost. Of course, oh, sorry, I need to switching up hands so that switching up the way I'm holding the bag as well, because of less wind now. But yeah, Mutant Girl first and foremost. Again, that's one of the reasons I was really eager to get all the audio in. Well, also because I want to give the editors time to do things, because last year they got really stressed around the remake because it was an actual deadline, and because, of course, the remake consists of trying to, you know, remake things and build on all of the mistakes, not build on them, correct all the mistakes of the past. And for the most part, I actually got people to even do scenes all over again, or to send me stuff without certain exports, so that then I could replace those parts that they'd actually messed up on. So I was much more harsh on the remake than I was on any of the other episodes, and I still have been. The other episodes, I'm like, you know, get the scenes in. Sometimes if there's stuff that really does not work, I will say, do this again. But yeah, we've really been, I really upped my game for, you know, the ones that are supposed to be the perfected editions. So my perfectionist side does shine through a little bit in those times, even though I keep saying to people, oh yeah, you know, just get something out there in gacha. Because yeah, I wanted people to know where the Mutant Girl was intended to actually be demonstrated rather than technical issues I had. So I break my own rule just for those situations. It doesn't have to be every single time, because people still love the original series and people still like the original episodes. In fact, I've been mocked for some of the things in them. It's part of the culture of the Mutant Girl, really, to mock the first season for a lot of its editing flaws. Which again, now I have other people I've been able to correct. So again, very excited about all these things. I think I love everything that is going to happen and has, I say that has happened in the production, because I again could have done with a lot of some of the drama. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I'm not really sure. Yeah, great things are on the horizon, and once I finish the Fallen Angels scene, I might do some more Alpha Witch Academy in the meantime. Actually, no. Remake first, 'cause I've got my parts of Remake to do. Then Alpha Witch Academy. Maybe the other 4 episodes scene because Aiden gave me 2 to do. But yeah. I don't know. He has no deadline for those. I guess he just wanted to make a movie edit. To be fair, I waited several months for my movie edit to come out. I haven't been able to do like everything wrong with Fallout Season 1 because I've still been working on the review of that particular video. There's some reviews, again, I put stuff aside because I just haven't had time, or I've been hanging out with people, you know. Yeah, I should pretty much say that I'm a full-time boyfriend now. That's it's like another job that I do. But a job that I do very willingly, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Clearly. It's very interesting because we've had conversations about certain ways that men somehow don't particularly seem to care about their partners in different ways, which, to be fair, some of which I won't actually label on here. But yeah, generally it does make me maybe strange to think the stuff that I see is completely logical sometimes just doesn't seem to apply. Because sometimes as I think, oh yeah, am I doing the right thing? You know, have I blown her off, you know, too many times or something? To either, like, you know, relax by myself or to catch up on things. And then I think, all of these things when I'm like inside my own head, counterintuitive, you know. I hope I'm doing well. Again, that's for her to decide. But yeah, I digress. Speaking of drama and mildly of partners, actually, there's something else that I should probably mention that has happened in the world of Minecraft. It's a tragic loss, but a seemingly necessary loss. It's all about how Polrr has decided to prematurely end Yandere High School Season 2. If people don't know about that, that Polrr is a Minecraft YouTuber who I tried to collab with. In fact, I reviewed some of his videos. No. In fact, I reviewed one of his videos, actually, that I was also in. He's also dating Emma, so that's again why that whole partner thing I said was associated. But yeah, he actually took on the monumental responsibility of carrying on the canonical evolution of Sam Gladiator's Yandere High School series. I mean, granted, there were plenty of Yandere High School ones. He didn't have to associate himself with that one, but I guess that one might have been slightly less resolved, or he wanted to do a continuation with his own characters. Again, I started watching some of those, but I will admit, again, having gone through the process with Mania of another Yandere series, and also witnessing the fact that there's several people, unlike in Mania stuff, that just flat out do not talk, and they have to type everything, ruining the pace of the entire production, as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't really able to get through much of it. But I know other people were, and I know that it's a continuation of something that from people's childhoods. So, again, it's a tragic loss that it's going to end without a satisfactory conclusion, or any sort of conclusion. I mean, say what you want about Athmal's cliffhangers, about cliffhanger endings, but at least they are endings. I mean, say what you want, even, I don't think I've said this ever, but say what you want about Things Drop Days. She tried to wrap up stuff, very unsuccessfully, but she tried to wrap stuff up so that people, you know, so that people actually knew that it was over, rather than, oh yeah, this series isn't getting the views or anything, and therefore I'm just going to leave it at episode 10. Again, arguably that would have worked better in that case, but Aiden and I have already talked about that at length. In Polrr's situation, that's not why he's doing it. He explained on his server that it's too windy, so I'm going to go this way. further that it was to do with certain dramas that are going on, and or that have gone on in the past. And he's been subjected to a lot of drama to do with various different things. But apparently, he said to me mere hours before the actual things we were talking in DMs. He said to me mere hours before we deleted, or I didn't delete it. He posted that he was going to stop the show. That drama in Minecraft communities is commonplace. He was comparing that to gacha drama, which I said happens at a much larger scale. And granted, he knows the he knows the actors that I scared, so that's why he was talking to me about that. He was the only person who was like up front and tried to get my side of the situation and see where I was coming from. So again, yeah, lots of respect for the guy in that aspect. But yeah, he found it was hilarious that it was all to do with gacha drama, and that's why I kind of found it a little bit ironic that that the Minecraft drama was what got to him, and meanwhile the gacha drama that I had, or the mini gacha drama, because it really wasn't that much drama, got brushed aside because it was between two friends who resolved things very quickly, as old friends do. I know, I find that a little bit mildly hypocritical, but I don't know the extent of the drama, so I'm not gonna fault the guy for that. And from what I've heard from Emma, he's been put through the ropes many, many times in a much worse way than that actress. Because again, I'm the actress's friend, so I'm not gonna be like lambasting her or harassing her or anything. That's not what happened. Yeah, the winds are starting to pick up really, really badly over here. Trying to find other places that the wind can shelter from. So my personal thoughts are, I wish that the series, I mean, I don't mind if the series ends, because again, I'm also be watching it myself, and I understand that some things have to actually be let go of. You know, a person's mental health is far more important than the show they produce. However, it is a shame that that particular season is not going to be wrapped up. I mean, I say this as the king of not wrapping things up back in the day. Most of my shows, for one reason or another, ended up on very bad, well, not even very bad cliffhangers, they just weren't cliffhangers at all. So the fact that this is a show that not only people actually watch, but is far better than all of those ones that I did in the past, and represents the continuation of the childhood of a lot of people watching it currently, I do think that it should have had maybe like one more episode or something, just to say, you know what, this is the end. Maybe two if there's lots of plot points to resolve. I don't really know, because there was even time travel stuff involved in this. Like, at one point I was supposed to be a body actor in this, which I didn't sign up for. I was supposed to be a voice actor, so that's why I never joined any of those meetings. Also, because of course I was going to join at the same time as I was doing streams, so I couldn't really do that anyway. But yeah, I was supposed to pick a timeline or something. I think it was like 1980s, 2130s, something like that. I don't know. There's plenty of times, but yeah, I don't know. I guess he also said that he couldn't ride the same hype train as everyone else anymore. He had to do his own original thing. I mean, I say that he ride his own spin quite successfully to that. Then again, haven't watched the rest of the show, but I'm pretty sure it was doing relatively well. Who knows? Either way, I do wish him the best about that, because obviously, like, during the past couple of days, I found newfound respect for the guy. Because I will admit, there's some things I'd heard that, you know, not rumors really, but you know, stuff that I knew was definitely his fault, that I was not so keen on. But then again, you know, he actually proved to be a stand-up person when he wants to be. So yeah, you know what? I do wish him the best for that. And I hope now that we've actually been able to talk to each other, that communication between us will be far better than it was in the past, because that was another issue. Remember that collab I was supposed to do? Yeah, he didn't want to do it, but he didn't tell me when he wanted to do it. He got Emma to say it for him. So yeah, I don't know. Among other things, that's a petty reason not to like a person, but again, I have my... Doesn't matter. Again, water under the bridge, it wasn't really to do with me anyway. What it's to do with me is just to say, I wonder what Ice Cube Studios will do next, and if you take one request from me in future, forget the conclusion series or anything, just don't have people text in the middle of a roleplay. It slows down everything, and vocal performances are key to a lot of shows in order to stand out. Why do you think Aphmau stuff does so well? Why do you think J.D. Crafter's characters from Clue, and even Aiden's ones now, stand out so much? Because they're allowed to actually express all their character. It really is something that just holds people back. I remember when I was in a Minecraft roleplay one time, like a one-off episode that never came out. It's actually where I met Roxy for the first time, so another reason not to like the experience. But basically, only 3 people were actually allowed to speak during the entire time, and everyone else was extras. I had an entire character set up for this. Like, I was trying to be Coach Poole before Coach Poole was in the Mutant Girl. And I tried to write him in the Mutant Girl, and then Leon Tarkshina took the character and wanted to voice somebody. So I gave him that one. But I had an entire voice for him, an entire crazy persona that I could actually have for this one teacher to be memorable. Because I like doing memorable teachers. What a surprise. But yeah, I wasn't allowed to speak. So I had to copy and paste lots of the lines I wanted to say and try and steer the conversation to my favor in that regard. Which of course meant they'd move on before I could respond to them, meaning they had to go back to the conversation before. It was a nightmare. It's not a good system, don't do it. That's my advice to all Minecraft role players. Even Emma is doing a maid cafe one in the exact same way. Just don't. It's terrible. It's worse than eyeless freaks in gacha shows. Or eye patches. And that's saying something. You know how much I hate those two things. So yeah, I think that's that. I've got more musical stuff to do. I've got songs to write for that. And I've got scenes to edit. Plenty to do, in fact. So I'm going to go, and also shopping as well. That's why I brought the bag in the first place. So I might as well do that now. So thanks everyone for watching. Please leave a like, or dislike, because your opinion matters, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.